Hello everyone, welcome to an individual reading. So I guess I am finally starting off with the TXT readings, and I technically have already done something for Soobin, but with him it was as a leader, how he feels about that and his role as one. In this case, this individual reading focuses more on him, I guess, as a person in whatever situation he's going through. So in this individual reading, I will go through his current energy, his career, his love life, and then any healing messages that come through. And with that said, let's just jump into his current energy to figure out what is he thinking or what is he feeling right now. Oh, that was very quick. He has stuff to say. So we have the Two of Wands, the Four of Cups reversed, the Ten of Wands, and then the Two of Cups reversed. So with this energy, all of the Wands energy that he has is upright, and all the Cups energy he has is reversed, meaning that he is in an energy right now where he is taking action over and over and over again to the point that it's exhausting for him. And also with the Cups reverse, it kind of shows that he doesn't have time and space to even think about how he feels about it. He's just doing things. He's just taking action, which I do feel is a very common thing in the industry that he's in, meaning that he's always working, always doing something, and not even having enough time to process what he's doing, and just not even giving himself the time of day to feel his way around things and see, talk to his heart and be like, hey, how are you doing? How are things going over there? Like, he's not communicating with his heart that well. Or with this card's reverse, it could show that he's kind of catching up to him, the whole idea of always doing something and being this go-getter energy, and it's kind of catching up to him how he's neglecting how he feels. But I don't really think he's doing that on purpose. I think he's just so busy that he just hasn't even thought about how he feels, if that makes sense. Anyway, so now let's actually look at the cards. So we have the Two of Wands. So starting with the Two of Wands kind of shows that his current energy is one where he's pretty content. He is pretty satisfied with how his life is. He feels some sense of control. He feels like there's a sense of power, like in the sense of he feels comfortable with his life. However, he is trying to look into the distance to figure out what else can he get. He wants to grow. How should I put it? He's in a stage in his life where he's kind of outgrowing the place that he's in. Which, how do I explain this? It's kind of, he has learned everything he had to learn in the space that he's in. He has experienced the things that that he needed to experience. And now is the time where he's thinking, what's next? I think he is in a state where he has the knowledge and he has, I guess, the experience as well of knowing that where he's at right now is good, is fine. It gets the work done. But he is thinking in a way of what actions will get him to grow and expand further in his journey. I think he's just thinking, what more can I get from this? What more can I do? How else can I improve? He's thinking of more with this Two of Wands. Next to the Two of Wands, we have the Four of Cups reversed, meaning that he could be a little bit distracted. He could be a bit tired as well, or not resting enough. He could be super laser focused on what he's doing, which I do feel it could be his career, that he's not really paying attention to the signs the universe is giving him. So the Four of Cups upright usually talks about someone that is distracted or bored. It talks about someone that has their eyes closed or they're distracted, so they're not seeing this fourth cup that the universe is offering to them, which could bring a lot of stability since it's number 4. Now, with this card in reverse, I do feel that in his case, he is very busy. I guess he could be distracted from his emotions and checking that side of himself, but he's not necessarily doing this on purpose, I guess I could say. I don't think he's bored. If anything, he's just busy. His distraction right now is that he's super busy. He is looking at wanting more, but he's not noticing that life is already offering him that more that he wants. And I do feel that that could be because he is looking for that expansion on his actions. But I think what life is trying to nudge at him and tell him is that he could find this expansion or whatever he wants more of if he looks at it in a different area, which instead of the actions area, so his work, in this case I feel it's more related to his heart and his emotions. And I think that since it's in a completely different realm from what he was expecting, he's just not seeing that that's where he can continue growing more and expanding himself and his, I guess, knowledge of life. Next to the Four of Cups, we have the Ten of Wands. So if anything, I have a feeling that currently there is something that he feels is missing in his life and he can't quite figure it out. So what he's doing is that he's just doing more. So the Ten of Wands usually talks about someone that has a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things that they have to do, that it becomes a burden. It's a bit difficult. It's challenging. It's a Ten of Wands, so it's close to the end of the journey. So he has reached a point where he feels like something is missing and something that he wants to expand on and continue growing on. However, he hasn't quite figured out what that is, and because of that, he may have taken upon himself a lot more responsibilities that he actually needs. And I also feel that there is also a chance that his job right now is so busy and in a way saturated with things that have to be done that he doesn't have the time to actually think about what it is that he feels is missing and look around other areas in his life to figure out if, in this case, for example, he's not thinking of his mind and his mental health, or he's not looking at his heart and stuff. I don't think he's necessarily in a bad place. I just think he is in a space where he doesn't feel really satisfied with his life, and that could be what he feels is missing. Like, what is it that he's doing that is not actually satisfying, I guess, his sense of accomplishment of sorts. Now, next to that, we have the Two of Cups reverse. So I do feel that one thing he feels he's missing is actual connections with people that he can have in-depth conversations with, people that he feels disconnected from society in a way, and he also feels disconnected from himself. Because I'm thinking of the Two of Cups in the Tarot of the Divine, which talks about a tale of this guy that was very powerful and he couldn't meet a match for himself, and the only one that was a match to himself was himself. I guess it was like a clone of him or something. It's like a myth, or I don't know it too well, but the whole point is that the Two of Cups in that deck doesn't really express it in a romantic, like in-depth soulmate type of connection with somebody else. Is like finding that type of bond within yourself, basically. So with this Two of Cups reverse, I do feel that his connections with himself, with other people, it's lacking. So again, I think that's the answer. And I don't think he realizes it, and I don't think he has noticed it yet. He's so busy working, he's so busy taking care of his responsibilities in his job, and maybe even life. It could be also responsibilities outside of his career that I don't know of, but that could definitely be coming up in his reading. And with this Two of Cups reverse, it kind of shows that what's missing in his life is just having real connections and real links that have worth, value, and depth. People he can talk to that actually bear their emotions and their vulnerabilities, someone that he can actually relate to, someone that is not connected to his circles of work and responsibilities. Like, how should I put it? I think he wants to find someone that he can talk to and express how he feels about his job without that person dumping what they have to do about their job as well, but especially if that person is in the same circles as him. So what I mean is that he doesn't want a connection with someone that is in the industry. He wants to talk to someone that is a little bit more detached from the stuff that he has to do. So I think he wants to find someone that is different from him, so that he can figure out how, despite having such different lifestyles, they still carry the same burdens and difficulties and challenges. I that's the best way I can explain having like an in-depth relationship with someone, right? Someone he can definitely relate to in a level that is beyond superficial. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, let's jump into the next section of his reading, which will be his career. What is going on with Soobin's screen? Oh, that hurt my ears. We have the Angel of Truth and Null Emptiness. You know what's funny? I did feel that this deck is called Angelarium. I had a feeling that those were cards that had a lot to say for him, so I will do my best to interpret the meaning of those cards. I do feel that I still don't have the skill level to really take out the juice of what these cards have to say, so I'll do my best. Let's see what's going on with this. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but that card literally just flew like whoosh. That was kind of fun. And seems like his career is a roller coaster right now. A lot of things are happening and it's very chaotic. So anyways, we have Finiel with the Angel of Truth. We have Dot, I think that's how you say it, with Null or Emptiness. We have Full Moon in Gemini with The Answers You Need Are Coming, and New Moon in Scorpio with Work Through Your Fears. So definitely his career is leaving like this empty hole in his life, and I think that's the truth behind what's going on. I don't think he realizes it though. I think he is aware that he's a bit tired from his career. He may feel a bit stagnant as well, as in things are not really satisfying him, but I don't think he realizes why that's the case. I think he may feel like, oh, maybe I'm not accomplishing something, or maybe I'm not busy enough. How should I put it? You know, when someone has been working so much that when they get a break, they think that what's missing in their life is more work, when in reality is they don't even realize that their work has become a distraction from figuring out what emotionally satisfies them. I think that's where he's at. I don't know if he's taking a break right now and that's why he's thinking about that, or if he has just been working so much that the truth is that his job is actually a distraction from something in his life, which in this case is his heart and his emotions. He's kind of neglecting that unsatisfied part of himself. Also with this card, this null or emptiness is supposed to represent how in nothingness there is something, right? It could be talking about when you feel something is missing, or when you don't know something, the fact that there is nothing there is actually giving you information on what needs to be there, if that makes sense. So in this case, the fact that he feels empty, maybe stagnant, or feels like something is missing should be enough of a clue for him as to what it is that he needs. It might take him some time to figure that out though, especially with this card, with The Answers You Need Are Coming. A full moon in Gemini is talking about the end of something, is reaching its peak and I guess its climax and reaching the end of a journey. So the cycle that he's going through talks about knowledge, and this knowledge is about himself. So in his career, he's finally figuring out what he's missing. He's going to finally get the answer as to how he can satisfy like that hole or space within himself that he can't really figure out. Like there's a missing piece and he doesn't really know what it is. Or he could already have all the answers in front of him, and all he needs is just that one domino to fall over to have this effect where he can finally see what the bigger picture is. He's just missing something, and he's kind of laser focused on that emptiness that he feels, and he's not able to see this bigger picture around him of what the bigger problem actually is, or what the solution could be to that emptiness that he feels. So there's just something, he's very close to reaching an epiphany, and he is just one step away from figuring it out. And I do feel that he's going to find that answer within his career, which is the reason why we're getting these cards here. Now, the other card that we have right here is Work Through Your Fears. So one of the reasons as to why he may not be seeing what he's missing in his life is because of fear. He could be afraid to admit to himself that there's something not working in his career, or because of some fears here and there. I feel like my throat is clamping up, which could be because I did 2 readings before this one, or it could be because there's something here, a truth that is not coming out to the surface for him. So with the Scorpio energy, we have a sense of someone that has to dig a bit deeper. And since it's a new moon, it is the energy of a new beginning, a new chapter, a new journey in his life. He's entering a new cycle. And this cycle is one that could fill him with a lot of emptiness, a lot of kind of like reaching that point of reaching an epiphany and a truth that makes him realize that life is not what he thought of. So he's gonna have an existential crisis. That's what I'm getting at. I don't think that could necessarily stop his job or anything, but it will definitely change the way that he views things and the way that he sees things. Now, the other thing that I want to say with this new moon in Scorpio with work through your fears, he will probably do some shadow work, and it is going to be challenging for him, but it's definitely necessary for his life in order for him to continue growing as a person and the life lessons that he has to experience. So this work through your fears kind of makes me think that the digging deeper that he's going through is just basically shadow work, meaning that he's just going to start seeing the sides of himself that he was not aware of and the sides of himself that he did not want to see, acknowledge, or even work with. He's just going to experience those. They're going to come to the surface, and he will be in a space where he can't avoid it. And I do feel his career could be a very big distraction for him right now. Yeah, 7 of Cups. And the 5 of Wands. So with the 7 of Cups, we have options. I think one of the things he's going to go through pretty soon, aside from his shadow work, is realizing the options that he has in his life. The options of staying, options of leaving, options of change, of making things better, or making a change where things could go worse if he resists or whatever. What I'm trying to get at is that he's finally going to see the paths, the options, and the possibilities that he has in his life, and the things that he can do with his career, outside of his career, surrounding his career, stuff along those lines. Like, if he felt like he didn't have an option before, he's going to realize through this shadow work the options that are available to him. Some options that he may not have considered before, but will finally seem as options now, will be things like taking a break, leaving whatever is bothering him, or changing his way of doing things, his mentality about them. One of the things that he may actually encounter is the ability to actually take some time off to think not even think, but be in a space where he can feel his emotions and act less. I do feel that that's one thing that could be very important, since that's kind of what was coming up first in his current energy. So he's going to see his options soon enough. I also feel that he could be offered new options in his career with the level up that he's going through spiritually. He will be able to actually start noticing and seeing these new options that are being offered to him in his career. So if before he felt like the only way he could get an opportunity was because a manager was saying, you got this new project or whatever, after his shadow work and I guess even during it, he will start noticing that sometimes he can encounter a new project or a new goal or something along those lines through people that he does not even expect it, and through situations he did not even see coming as well. So I think his point of view is opening up and broadening a bit more to see the bigger picture, and also that allows him to be a bit more open and welcoming to opportunities and paths that he had not even noticed or even thought of before. Lastly, we have the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands talks about arguments, fights, competition. I do feel that now with his newfound sense of purpose, and also his ability to see new opportunities, Soobin is going to be in an energy where he will feel a lot more competitive, a lot more forthcoming, and a lot more straightforward with what his goals are and what his aims are as well. So he's going to be a bit more aggressive in reaching those goals and making them happen. So I do feel that he's not going to be so relaxed. I think back in the day he could have been an energy where in his career he was just doing what he was told because that just was what felt good, but now he's reaching a point where through his own shadow work and his ability to finally prioritize himself, he's going to become more ambitious. He's going to become more action orientated, but not in the sense of just doing his job, but more of doing what he wants to do. I don't necessarily think he's going to go rogue and go all rebellious and stuff, not necessarily, because that's not who he is as a person, or I don't think so at least. He is going to just prioritize what he wants, what he wishes for, and he's just going to be more open to opportunities in different ways that he can get to those things that he wants. All I'm saying is that he's becoming more ambitious, and he just wants more out of his life, and in his career is going to develop with new opportunities, new chances, and just new things in his life. He's going to go for them, basically. Whew. Now let's jump into the next section and figure out what's going on with Soobin's love life. Bro, this was the card that was at the bottom of the deck when I started shuffling. So the fact that it came out, I'm not surprised. That's all I'm saying. And on the bottom, we have the Angel of Silence, which I will take out since I saw the card. Now, what's going on with Soobin's love life? We have first quarter moon with your commitment is being tested, and North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. Ooh, we're talking about destiny. I think things are being placed in his love life, and things are things are falling into place. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, so we have Tiferet with Heart or Beauty, and then we have Chatiel. I hope I'm saying those names right. With Angel of Silence. I usually don't say the names, but I do feel that in his case it's kind of important for some reason. So with Heart and Beauty and Angel of Silence, in his love life, things are going it's a very sneaky energy in the sense of it's slowly transforming and changing. It is silent, but it seems like nothing's happening in his love life, basically. It may seem like that, but things are changing, things are evolving and moving, so it can transform into something beautiful, into something heartfelt, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, but something that is pure, something that is love, something that is care and and all those words that you can think of, romance and love, right? So I do feel things are happening in his love life, but it's something that he's not being told of, and he doesn't really feel, and he doesn't even know much about. So I am talking about, I guess, the threads of destiny moving and shifting, life thinking of something for him and planning something out for his love life. And I don't think he has much of a say or much of, I guess, something he can physically do to make this happen. I do feel that it's something that will come out of nowhere, and it's going to happen, and he is going to, I guess, in a way, just experience in his life. So I do feel that the universe has something planned for him in his love life that he's not aware of. Now, with your commitment is being tested, I do feel that the universe is trying to figure out if he's even ready for romance. And the moment he is, this opportunity or this, I guess, experience that life wants to bring him will take off. But at the moment, he is a bit more committed to his career, and because of that, I don't feel this is going to take off like right now or anything. He's focusing on other things. Now with the North Node, we have step out of your comfort zone, so I do feel that he may not be very comfortable with dating or very comfortable with romantic relationships. He kind of prefers to stay on his own and be by himself. He may be a bit distracted with his career, with his sense of, I guess, emptiness and stagnation, so he's not thinking too much about his love life. Also, I want to point out that here we have both figures kind of looking at each other, so I do feel that the moment he starts focusing on romance and on love, it will kind of unlock it for him, and things are just going to pick up. But at the moment, I don't think much is happening there. Let's see, anything else for Soobin's love life? Oh. We have the 10 of Cups. So the reason nothing is really happening is because whatever has to take off for him is something that's going to be like a happily ever after. It's going to be magical. It's going to be the one he's looking for to have a long lasting relationship with, because the 10 of Cups is complete satisfaction, happily ever after, even a dream come true. And also with the 10 of Cups, we have a sense of someone that wants a family, get married, have kids. So whoever he may want to have that with is going to be a big commitment, and because of that, he's not going to meet that person until he is kind of ready to open up to romance, basically. I think he's too busy doing other things right now. Yeah, and then we have Judgment reverse. He before he it feels like a game. Before he can unlock the chapter of his love life, he has to go through the journey of self-discovery and, in a way, finding his soul purpose. So the Judgment card reverse talks about someone that hasn't really heard that inner calling, has not really gotten in touch with their life purpose, and because of that he hasn't transformed to be his true self. And it's, to me, it seems very obvious because he's barely starting his shadow work. I think he is barely being a bit more ambitious and is barely reaching that stage where he is living life for himself rather than just being told what to do. He's kind of becoming a bit more independent of his actions and his ambitions, and because of that he's just growing up, and it's gonna take some time to reach that point where he is ready for love. Anyway, let's go on to the last section of his reading, which is the healing messages. What healing messages are there for him? Sorry. We have Koi Fish Spirit with There Is Always Enough. So yeah, the fact that he feels unsatisfied is because he's not paying attention to his emotions and not because he's actually missing something in his life. So it's not like his career is in a bad place. It's not that he needs money or this or that. It's because he's emotionally not noticing that he already has the things that he desires in life, or he hasn't taken action in a way where he will be emotionally satisfied. So that's what he's missing. And yeah, There's Always Enough kind of shows that if he feels like he can't achieve something or he can't have something happen, the universe is telling him, or the koi fish is telling him right here. I had to stop because I was thinking of something else, but it's telling him that there's always enough. So whatever he gets in his life is because he's worth it, he deserves it, and he's not taking that opportunity away from somebody else. Like whatever project he gets in his career is because it's meant for him. He's not taking an opportunity away from anybody else. Whatever works out for him was meant for him. He's not stealing an opportunity, the spotlight, or anything from anyone. It is meant for him. And I think he may be working towards self-esteem issues as well because of that. The other card that we have right here is the Wolf Spirit reverse with Turn Knowledge into Wisdom. I had to turn it around. For some reason, I could not read this one reversed. So anyway, so Turn the Knowledge into Wisdom is basically he's just maturing, he's growing up, he is barely noticing and learning how his everyday experiences and his way of acting and thinking about them actually has a lot to say with what he is going through, what he believes, and who he is as a person. That's his way of turning knowledge into wisdom. Every little thing that he experiences, sees, feels, and thinks give him a kind of insight of a bigger thing in him. So if he experiences some clashing and conflicts with someone, it definitely tells him how he views things and how he sees things. He may be learning about projecting onto others and others projecting onto other people and on him. He's barely noticing and acknowledging a form of connecting to that bigger picture that he's missing right now. That's the best way I can explain that in the terms of him. One last card for his healing messages. Oh, I thought it was a unicorn. Bro. So we have Horse Spirit reverse with Freedom is Yours. So right now he's working on becoming independent, on reaching his own idea of freedom, on feeling of prioritizing himself, of doing what he wants to do, of fighting for what he wants, and not giving it away to other people because he feels like he's stealing from them or taking their opportunities. Like, I think he's just gaining the confidence to be himself, gaining the confidence to do as he wants, and even getting the confidence to want more out of life. I think that's something that he's working towards, and all of those things will satisfy whatever it is that he's missing in his life, whatever he didn't know, like that vacancy that he felt or that hole in his heart. Like, he's gonna slowly fill up because he's finally doing something for himself. He's becoming more independent, like independent thought, independent action, and because of that, an independent lifestyle. And also, all of those things are going to allow him to feel the freedom that he wants and he didn't even know he was missing. I do feel that always doing what other people tell him to do have finally caught up to him and made him realize that that's not what he wants in life. I'm not saying he's going to start rebelling and being, again, going rogue or something. I'm just saying that he knows how to play the game. He knows how to do things within the boundaries and within the rules of his job, his lifestyle, the position that he's in. He knows how to work within that. It's just that now he's finally getting the desire to do something selfish for himself, something that will satisfy him and only him. You know, he's becoming independent basically, and that's gonna give him a sense of freedom and a bigger sense of satisfaction. So I'll leave that there. This was a very, very interesting reading. I am so glad that he's entering into that shadow work and just growing up as a person and also developing the spiritual side of him. I do look forward to his love life. I do hope that he does get that happily ever after. But of course, again, it will unlock when he is done with his self-discovery chapter. But for now, I'll leave that there. I hope you guys liked this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the love and support. And bye.